The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a 90s sitcom revolving around an affluent black family as they welcome an extended family member from working-class West Philadelphia into their home. While this was not the first television series to showcase a black family, it was certainly the first sitcom to tell real stories about what it was like to be a black family. Competing family shows of the time simply did not leave the TV the way The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air did. Taking over fashion trends and dominating popular music, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air completely changed the pop culture scene, and ultimately changed the way people thought about their own culture, and how they treated other cultures. This was made possible because the show featured serious conversations that were otherwise not being placed on primetime TV. For example, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's 72 Hours speaks to black-on-black prejudice. The episode centers a bet between Will and Carlton. Will bets Carlton he can't last a weekend in Compton, his friend Jazz's neighborhood. Surprising to Will, Carlton is successful in getting along with the Compton group. Will feels a moment of defeat before experiencing immediate concern for Carlton when it is revealed that he's joining the group to visit MacArthur Park, an infamously dangerous area. Desperate, Will turns to Aunt Viv to come rescue Carlton, and classically, Will and Carlton end up in the living room being lectured. This is the structure of several episodes. Will and Carlton challenge each other, one of them takes it too far, and they both end up in trouble, and a little bit closer because of it. But in this particular episode, there is a serious undertone at play. Namely, the episode addresses, challenges, and settles black-on-black prejudice. And, most notably, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was able to do so successfully through different theories of humor. Setting up the premise of the episode, Will and Jazz make fun of Carlton.
After all, you two possess absolutely no musical ability. Face it, you're so jealous you're green.
All right, but just out of curiosity, Carlton, what color are you?
Oh, here we go again. Look, just because I grew up in the best neighborhoods and pronounce the INGs at the end of my words doesn't make me any less black than you.
No, it's that tie that does it.
Each joke centers the idea that Carlton is, quote, not black because of his likes and interests. In defense, Carlton points out the qualities that do, quote, make Will black, and addresses them as undesirable. These kind of put-downs speak to superiority theory. Superiority theory understands the instances in which people laugh at the perceived misfortunes of others. Politician David Monroe addressed superiority theory by saying, quote, "The laugher always looks down on whatever he laughs at, and so judges it inferior by some standard." Here it becomes evident that ridicule of others or their actions is central to the experience of humor. To say the audience is amused because they feel superior to the subject of the joke. Both Will and Carlton think they must validate their own blackness. Will believes it is because Carlton has been raised with certain financial privileges that he does not know what it means to, quote, be black. In contrast, Carlton holds it is Will's lower socioeconomic upbringing that harbored the, quote, improper qualities he chooses to pick on. The topic of black-on-black prejudice is difficult to address, but The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air manages to do so, and furthermore, the sitcom's use of comedy allows this to be done effectively. Specifically, the jokes made do not merely explain what black-on-black prejudice is, but rather, they have the capacity to highlight the absurdity of upholding such prejudices in the first place. This offers a chance for audiences to reconsider their proper experience with black-on-black prejudice as a whole. Now in Compton, Carlton is entirely out of place. His polite mannerisms against the background of nonchalant messiness make for such an amusing scene.
My brothers! Yo, I want you to meet Booms, Vidal, and Tiny. My cousin Carlton.
What was that all about?
Incongruity theory explains exactly why an audience would find this humorous. According to incongruity theory, something is funny when it deviates from what is expected. Michael Caddell wrote about this extensively by outlining certain philosophers' take on incongruity theory. Particularly, contemporary philosopher John Morrell contends that, quote, "The most plausible candidate for a general theory of laughter is the incongruity theory." Morale contends that an audience finds something humorous not when they are overwhelmed or surprised, but rather when an unlikeliness occurs. So, by placing Carlton in an unfitting environment, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air exemplifies what black-on-black prejudice can look like. Here, Carlton's characteristics that Will makes fun of are entirely exaggerated. The presence of humor gives the audience an opportunity to consider what it is like to face black-on-black prejudice. Incongruity theory is used to defy racial expectations and leads the audience to question the validity of these expectations. Wrapping up the episode, Will and Carlton find themselves in trouble. Being scolded by Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil, Will and Carlton both know they took the bet too far. However, even as heavy as this scene is, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air continues to stay strong to its elements of humor.
Well, you are the one who started this whole thing.
I'm sorry, Aunt Viv.
I'm sorry. How many times are we going to hear that? When are you going to start taking responsibility for your actions? When are you going to grow up, boy?
I'm sorry, Aunt Viv.
Here, relief theory is used to lift the serious tone of the situation. Relief theory understands the release of tension. Specifically, the theory speaks to its relation to the nervous system and how humor can be employed to relax a moment of stress. Philosopher and psychologist Herbert Spencer explained relief theory by observing the psychological happenings in the brain. Spencer regards laughter in relation to relief theory as, quote, a release of excess nervous energy. This kind of humor can be employed to lessen the anxiety of a confrontation. This is exactly what Will displays as he makes sly comments while Aunt Viv criticizes him. Evidently, the presence of relief theory takes pressure away from a heavy subject. Precisely, black-on-black prejudice itself can be emotionally charged and rooted in historical and equally current societal realities. Herein, relief theory allows individuals to navigate the issues that come out of black-on-black prejudice with a sense of lightness. In turn, black-on-black prejudice can be confronted in a way that is both healing and constructive. Humor is a powerful language, and in the name of black-on-black prejudice, humor allows people to laugh, to have a shared experience over a topic they might have otherwise disputed over. It is because The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was not shy about who their show was about, or what kind of conversations they wanted to host, that the series was able to effectively challenge societal issues prevalent in the 1990s and, unfortunately, still relevant today.
You always act like I don't measure up to some rule of blackness that you carry around.
Hold on, wait a minute. You don't judge me. You do everything but carry a big old gavel around. I mean, you treat me like I'm some kind of idiot just because I talk different.
Differently.